Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us here on a beautiful day outside, but even more beautiful inside for the ribbon cutting ceremony and basketball game, if you will, for the new Grant Center Gymnasium, the only gymnasium, indoor full city gymnasium here on the west side of Savannah. So we thank you all very much for joining. We thank the media for joining us as well for this special event. Our mayor, Van Johnson, is with us. He may be running around, or is he settled in behind? He's with us. Alderwoman for the 1st District, Alderwoman Lanier. You'll hear from her, as well as a lot of other special guests, including our city manager, Jay Melder, who is with us. Heath Lloyd, our assistant city manager, is here. Taffany Young, our Chief Community Services Officer, you'll hear from her, wearing the perfect shirt, the Rec Reimagines, what the city is going through right now. And if you tour the facility and all the extra rooms we have here, certainly it is Recreation Reimagined. Our Chief of Operations is Brett Bell, our Chief Government Operations, Gene Pravat, and our Fire Chief, Elsie Kitchen. Lenny Gunther is our member, our Police Chief, along with many other members here from our Savannah Police Department. We'd also like to recognize the Rec Commission. The Recreation Commission is here with us, and the chairman of the Rec Commission, Pamela Jones, who is with us as well. Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter has joined us as well, at-large alderwoman from here in the city of Savannah. So with that, there are a lot of other recognitions, but they are in the speeches of those to come. We'd like to start off with the alderwoman for this 1st District, Alderwoman Lanier.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, this is a wonderful day. Got a few notes here. So, in thinking about this day and what it was that I wanted to say, the way I do it when I prepared, I asked the Lord, what is it to have an opportunity to speak before your people that you want to be heard? What is it that you want to be said? And the word came to me. It's all about gratitude. Gratitude. And I thought about that, and I said, let's see what the Spirit says about gratitude. And gratitude is a way of being. And we believe the power of gratitude is not in the act, but it's in the energy that arrives when we are in the act of gratitude. So as we are expressing our gratitude today, our gratefulness, you should sense the authentic gratefulness within your heart and notice the experience, the energy. This is allowing us to evoke an energetic frequency. And it's said that that energy, that gratitude energy, it has the power to heal, to create, to manifest, to love and attract. It has the power to change your perspective, to open your heart, to envision new solutions. Gratitude could do all of these things. It has the power to create powerful relationships. And this relationship today between the people of this community and your representatives and your government body will increase because of the gratefulness of us being here today to accept and to approve of and to glorify in this facility. Being on city council, one of the good things about being there is that these young student athletes get an opportunity to come before us. When they excel and come to the top of their craft from their hard work here in Savannah, these students come before City Council and we get an opportunity to recognize them. And I often ask these students, did they participate in any type of Little League sport, any Little League event? Because it's been my experience a lot of times when these young men and women come before us, they have been involved at the community level. And just recently, 2 very outstanding young men came before us, and when I asked the question of their Little League team, they said the Whippers. So here I am sitting there on City Council with these young men standing there going to college and some to the pros, and all you see over and over are the Whippers. And that makes me so proud because I remember being a little girl wanting to be a whipperette so bad. I just wanted to be a whipperette because the whipperettes had it going on. So we end up playing softball for Mank and Augusta Avenue Lounge, and the team we always had a good team. But then I got an opportunity later to be the booster chair of the Whippers when Coach Pimp and Monk and Richard and Skip and all of you all were coaches back in the day. I was your booster chair and the cheerleader coach. So most of our young people in this area have experience being a Whipper. Now I know this is the West Savannah Gym, and I know this is the Grant Gym, but I could see one day big banners across the wall saying, "Congratulations, Whippers." This is the territory of the Whippers. And when I think back about the Whippers, we had a lot of different levels, and we had 2 and 3 teams at each level. We had the Whipperettes, we had the cheerleaders, we had girls, boys, we had so many children involved, and all of these adults that took time to nourish us and to coach us, thank you, and to guide us. And so when the community had a need for an investment in recreation, because we were trying to get back to those days when we had the cool blues and the people that nourished us, that there was a need for an investment in recreation, because Ms. Brenda was over there at the Grant Center at the half court working with these children the best she could with what she had to work with. But we needed more. We at least needed a full court. So promises were made. A vision was created. From that vision, a plan was made, and we are now standing in the manifestation of that vision. Now, that need represented a hunger for investment, a recreation hunger. We had all these young people. We've proven ourselves. We got people going at all levels, at the pros, at high schools, throughout the city, all over the nation. The Whippers, the West Savannah is represented. So there is a hunger for us to have that investment, to get back to those heydays and to nurture more young men and women. Now, when someone is starving, there was a hunger. When someone is starving, they are grateful for the morsel just as much as if it was a bounty. Any morsel they get, they're grateful for it just as well if there was a bounty. Now, the need represented a response of a bounty. The need is so great, we required a bounty. But today, we are grateful for this center being here because so many young people are going to have an opportunity to come through these doors, through this center, and be nurtured and end up on large stages throughout this city and this country. So we are grateful. So as your representative on City Council, being the voice of this community, it is my commitment to make sure that the vision for this community as we continue to grow is to prosper and to create a stronger, more resilient community. That's our vision. And it is my commitment to make sure that you, as the citizens of West Savannah, have an opportunity to sit at the table and create that vision and to drive that vision. Because although we are grateful here today, a starving person is as grateful for the morsel as they are for the bounty. So when you sit to the table having an opportunity to create that vision, I'm sure you would plan for the bounty. And again, when that day comes and we receive that bounty to satisfy that hunger for all our needs in this area, we will be truly, again, grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alderwoman. For a few services, for a few terms, First District Alderman Van Johnson served this area and spent a lot of time on this area as their district alderman, of course, 3 years ago becoming our mayor of the city of Savannah. Van Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, and good afternoon. In the greatest city in the world, and we know her as Savannah. I am so happy to be here as a person who's represented this district for 16 years. More importantly, a person who made the promise. And today, to be able to witness the manifestation of that promise. Today we are cutting the ribbon on the new Grant Center Gymnasium. You can clap right there. And just to remind you of the road that we traveled, this was an investment as I was District 1 Alderman and that the previous council made on the west side of Savannah, and I'm overjoyed to see this project completed and finally open for the public to enjoy. If you remember, this was a SPLOST project, and we worked with the community to make sure, how did you want to do this? How did you want to fund this? Ultimately, it was $4.5 million in total over SPLOST 6 and SPLOST 7. And we decided that you wanted to go for both funding streams, and we were able to do that. You supported SPLOST, and so therefore, this is the result of that funding. SPLOST 6 allocated $2 million to this project, and SPLOST 7 gave us an additional $2.5 million in funding. This started back in September 2013, if those of you will remember, when we started talking about the need that we had to be able to provide equitable athletic opportunities on the west side. And many of you know we were playing for years in the little closet known as the former Grant Center, because that's all we had. That's all we had. And we knew that the residents in this area deserved better, and we were determined to give you better. And so it was a long and very difficult process to not only vision what we wanted, but to vision how we were going to provide it. And we learned during that process that the city did not have a full-size regulation basketball court on the west side. In addition, we wanted to make sure that we were able to connect this to the Moses Jackson Center. And so we created over there 2 rooms, one for fitness and weight rooms, and the addition of energy efficient windows in the community center. Also new sidewalks and a covered walkway between the gym and Moses Jackson. So this was a huge project, but I think that our residents deserve facilities like this. We need to think big and we need to go big. And although the vision may tarry, it will come if we continue to work for it and we wait for it. Our residents deserve, our young people deserve safe places to play and recreate, and we have now created at least the beginning of those projects. This gym meets and hopefully exceeds your expectations. It is a beautiful facility, don't you think so? It is, right? So I want to thank former Mayor DeLoach and the City Council at the time for heeding and working with me to help create this experience. Certainly, I want to thank the city managers who've worked throughout that time to make it happen, finally falling in the hands of our current city manager, Jay Melder, who carried the ball over the finish line. I want to thank Heath Lloyd. Is he somewhere around? All right, Heath Lloyd, thank you, sir. Y'all give him a round of applause. A lot of meetings, a lot of discussions about how could we squeeze this in and make a campus of this area. I also want to make sure we thank all of Team Savannah. Will all Team Savannah please wave, regardless of what facility? We're all Team Savannah. Y'all give them all a big round of applause. We thank our contractors and everyone that had something to do with this. I also want to lift some other names. I want to lift the names of the West Side Whippers. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. Because in our discussions, that's how I learned about the non-regulation. And so we said, let's figure out to have a regulation home, not only for the Whippers, but for folks to be able to play. You're not really playing basketball unless you're running the whole court. And when I went over there and we were playing at the old Grant Center, the reality was I was running that court pretty well. This is going to be a little bit different. But I told these young men in the back that I'm going to school in just a little bit when I put my kicks on and show them how to play some ball. But thank you all whippers for working with us and helping lead us and guide us. Thank you for what you do for our young people. We recognize that good young people are not born, they are made. And you help make them. So thank you for that. I also want, give them a round of applause. I want to thank and lift the name up of Ronald Williams, R.D. Williams, who was our neighborhood president at the time and helped kick off this process, and certainly to his dying day. And many of us remember the meeting in which he had his stroke, in which he went to the hospital and did not return. This was something that was very near and dear to his heart. So let's give him a round of applause. I want to thank Pastor Marsha Buford, who could not be with us today. She's a little under the weather, but she carried the ball on. Let's give her a big round of applause. And I want to send up love to Chantre Grant. Yeah. Yeah. Chantre and I fought and fought and fought and went back and forth. And I said, Chantre, we are going to do this. And it will be named the Grant Center. So to the Grant family, promise made, promise kept. And we know he's smiling on us. I want to thank the West Savannah Community Association, or community organization, for working with us and the endless meetings they participated in, and certainly their endorsement that young people on the West Side deserve the best we can give them. Give up a big round of applause for West Savannah and their community association. And last but not least, Brenda Johnson Curtis, stand up. Y'all give a big round of applause. Because for years, when we would go over to the Grant Center and she said these kids need enough place to play. And you need conscientious city employees just to keep reminding you of what should be done. And so although she has since retired, and we were trying to get it done before she retired, maybe she'll come out of retirement now and be right across the street from your gym. So to all of us, it's a great day when we're able to celebrate and no one takes credit because everyone takes credit. Thank you for being Savannah Strong. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'd like to welcome Alderwoman at Large Alicia Miller Blakely for joining us as well for today's event. Our city manager hasn't been here that long, but I'll tell you what, he's helped us start a lot of new projects, and most importantly, he's helped us, as the mayor said, bring us across the finish line. I'd rather say hit the three-pointer in the end, but he's helped us finish projects like this one. Jay Melder, and after Jay, if you could introduce Taffney Young.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Savannah. It is a great day to be in Savannah. It's a great day to be at the brand new Grant Center and the remodeled Moses Jackson Center, part of a regional recreation and fun space for our community. The mayor went over a lot of the numbers and a lot of the stories, and as Ken mentioned, I haven't been in town that long, not even 2 years yet. So when we come to these projects and I come to neighborhoods and communities, I want to learn about the story around the story. I can look at the budget books and I can look at the architectural plans and I can review the contracts and know exactly how we're going to build these things and when the money came to be and when City Council passed the final resolution to make sure we were going to break ground and pay for these centers. But as you know, there's a long story behind all of these projects, and especially the best projects. And this is a great project. This is a great facility, and it has a long history. And so when I come to these groundbreakings, I ask the team to kind of pull together the story around the story so that I can learn about it. And I'd like to share it with you, although you all know the story. You've lived it. You know, the Grant Center, the old Grant Center now, was originally called the Richard Street Recreation Center, and between 1978 and 1986, and obviously named for its location on Richard Street. It served the Hudson Hill and Woodville communities there for years. The original property was purchased by the West Side Community Organization for $10,000. And that group petitioned council to improve and staff the facility to operate it as a community center. Again, a story around the story. The community coming together to petition its government to do something better with the facility, do something better for its residents. The city took ownership of the building sometime around 1979, and new construction on the site was jointly funded by the city and the Chatham County. Of course, the old center was home to the recreation facilities, the Golden Age program, and featured a miniature gymnasium, is the quotes we have in our archives, for regulation half-court basketball and volleyball games. But we know half-court basketball just doesn't cut it in Savannah. In 1985, the gymnasium was noted as being, despite it being half-court or three-quarters of a court, one of the most popular of its kind in the city of Savannah. It was a well-used, well-loved facility, just like this one will be. In 1986, a petition was received by the city to rename the center after Clarence Blue Grant. And the center was renamed by the summer of 1987. In 1999, the Moses Jackson Center was rededicated to social and educational focus, pairing the Clarence Grant Community Center with the Moses Jackson facility. And it made Richard Street the heart of the West Savannah community. In 2021, of course, the city broke ground on the new Grant Center, and here we are today to cut the ribbon. I wanted to spend a little bit more time on this facility's namesake, as the mayor started, because it was interesting for me to learn about Clarence Grant. And this was some things I learned from the book Lowland High Road: Life in West Savannah. For many girls and boys, the best days of their youth were spent playing ball for Coach Clarence Cool Blue Grant. He lived his life loving sports and teaching young people how to play the game and become better people doing it. As a teenager, he was called Blue and Cool Blue, and the nickname stuck. Blue Grant was a student at Woodville High School when he founded the West Savannah Whippers in 1951. Wow. What teams learned from Coach Grant was not only basic technique, but also execution at a very high level. Coach Grant also went out of his way to compliment good performance. When the team for 11 to 15-year-olds came back from a heartbreaking 6-5 loss to the Tompkins Wolverines to shut out the Carver Village Braves, and they followed that up to shut out the Carver Village Braves and the Tatum Village Blue Jays in 1959. He singled out the improvements of players such as Floyd Adams Jr. And who knows what that encouragement did to Mr. Adams in the future, Mayor Adams. Coach Blue Grant spent his life giving girls and boys a love of sports. This piece that I learned about Coach Grant touched me pretty deeply. When Clarence Grant passed away in January of 2006, his funeral notice included what was described as a last wish and a request for him. And it read, quote, "Request from Dean Clarence Cool Blue Scout Coach Grant. On Saturday at 10 a.m., dress casual in blue and white. Tennis shoes are more than fine." So today, I think we should dedicate it to Coach Grant and his brand new building, and hope that for decades to come, his legacy of service to this community and the people that he's touched and the lives that he's changed continue with the Whippers and continue with the activities on this court and in the rooms across the way, the Moses Jackson Center as well. So thank you. We're excited to be here. And now I'll just thank all the people who made this building happen. I want to thank Chief Taffney Young and Valita McDonald, and Chief Young will get up and talk in a minute. I want to thank our Department of Rec and Leisure. I lovingly refer to them as the Department of Fun, and our Interim Director, Nick Roberts, and Assistant Director, Pete Meyerhofer. I want to thank our capital construction team who builds these buildings, Project Manager Dan Reel and our Director, Christy Lawrence. The engineer on this project was Green Line Architects. Project leads were Eric O'Neill and Bob Patonsi. And our contractor was Dab Williams, and the project leads there were Jimmy Paramore and Buddy Roberts. So we really want to thank the project team for bringing that dream and that story around the story to life here at the brand new Grant Center. Congratulations, Savannah. We are very proud to have been able to deliver this project to you. Now I welcome Chief Taffney Young.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, you are in this beautiful facility. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Well, my job is to tell you all that was included in this large project, because it's not just what you see, this beautiful, beautiful full-size court that you're sitting in. So I'm going to walk through some of the amenities so that you'll know, and I want to invite you, after we're finished cutting the ribbon, to walk around. Be curious, not just in the Grant Center, but also I want you to take a tour over into Moses Jackson, because this is a regional project that was just completed, and there's a lot of cool spaces over there too. So what have you been waiting on? Number one, a full-size gym. Number two, if you look down on the center of the court, you'll see 2 bronze circles. This floor can be converted into indoor volleyball so that you'll be able to play volleyball as well. Something very different that we've done, and we don't have this in any of our other gyms, we have separate locker rooms for teams now. So they won't have to share with the patrons and the spectators. Those are separate, and they're in the lobby. Yes, we have a lobby with concessions. You know, in the past, we've pulled tables into the room to be able to sell anything, so now we have an actual concession. If you go out on the walkway into the main building, you all who have been living here, you know when Moses Jackson opened, we did it in pieces. The centerpiece opened, we had Lady Bamford, the daycare center on one end, then the advancement center came along, but the last 2 classrooms on this end were always unfinished. A part of this large project was the completion of those spaces. So you have a full-size fitness room with the equipment there that's available for the community to use at no charge. We have an exercise room with a mirrored wall that can be used for exercises as well as multi-purpose. And in the main facility, there are classrooms that if you've been in there over the last 6 months or so, you've noticed there was paper over those doors. Well, those spaces are open. We have a new youth game room. We have the very first and only toddler room, and we've also renovated the computer lab and created training space there. So please, 5 separate new spaces are in the next building as well. So we just want to say, from the City of Savannah and on behalf of all of the staff and recreation, we care. We want to provide you with excellent service, and that begins with excellent facilities. Congratulations to the West Savannah and West Side communities, and I want you to do one thing. I want you to say, it's our time. It's our time. It's our time. One more time, it's our time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Taffney. As the mayor said earlier, Pastor Marcia Buford, a little bit under the weather, and actually she was losing her voice and couldn't speak, so she's like, well, I don't think I can go speak then. But Naomi Brown has worked for the City of Savannah for many years, and for 17 years on the board of directors for the West Savannah Neighborhood Association. So Naomi is graciously stepping in to say a few words on behalf of the local neighborhood and the association.
Good evening to everyone. Protocol has been set. All of the words that were said is true. There's no sense to add on or take away. I would like the Board of Directors of West Savannah to please stand as present in support of the occasion. On behalf of Pastor Marsha Buford, who could not be here today, you are all welcome, and she thank you for everything that has been done. May God bless.
Before we cut the ribbon, it dawned on me that Larry Gator Rivers would have loved this facility. And we would have loved to have just seen him do his thing in a facility like this. So we keep his family in our thoughts and our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Now we will indeed cut the ribbon on the new Grant Center Gymnasium, the first full indoor basketball court here on the west side of Savannah. And then after that, we'll have an exhibition game so the television stations can get some video footage of police, fire, and some local kids. And also let us know. We can get some interviews for you as well. Thank you all for coming today.
All right, we count down from 5. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.